Trivedi, Chief of Army Staff, Sri Sanjeev Kumar, Secretary Defence Production, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary Ministry of Earth Sciences, Sri Gurudev Singh, Chairman NTPC, Lieutenant General retired Sri Dushyant Singh, DG Center for Land Warfare Studies, General Dalveer Singh, former Army Chief, General J.J. Singh, former Army Chief, attaches from foreign services and representatives of the diplomatic community, scholars from think tanks and academia, officials of government and armed forces, veterans, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to address this distinguished gathering of officers from the armed forces, representatives of the strategic community, scholars, and experts from think tanks in India and abroad, and leaders from industry. I thank the Indian Army and the Center for Land Warfare Studies for organizing this dialogue and for maintaining the continuity of such an important intellectual forum. This is a platform where the practical experience gained by our Army blends meaningfully with contemporary strategic thinking to shape our future strategies and policies. Friends, we are honored that the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces addressed this year's dialogue and offered her valuable guidance. I think the Honorable President's suggestions will guide and greatly benefit our armed forces. Friends, I had the opportunity to be part of this forum last year as well. At that time, discussions were held that development and security are not separate pursuits. They reinforce each other. That thought remains relevant today also. And this year also, we carry that discussions forward with the new theme of this dialogue, reform to transform, Sashakt, Surakshit, and Viksit Bharat. It urges all of us to view reforms not merely as an administrative exercise, but as a driver of the national strength, national security, and a national transformation. The relevance of this platform, and especially of this theme, becomes even more important in the context of the present global scenario and the challenges India faces in its neighborhood. As we reflect on the reforms and the transformation, I feel it is important that we also look at the wider global context in which we all operate. We can easily sense that we are living through a period of the deep geopolitical uncertainty, and the power centers are shifting, new alignments are being tested, and the nature of conflict itself is evolving in ways not seen before. When we look at traditional military domains, they are now intersecting with the cyber space, information, and even cognitive influence. Today, we cannot clearly identify the lines between peace and conflict as clearly as earlier. Friends, economic interdependence, which once gave confidence to the world, now comes with the vulnerabilities in supply chains, digital networks, and critical technologies. All of this demands sharper awareness, sober judgment, and a sustained preparedness from us. Friends, in this changing global environment, India's place is also undergoing transformation. Our economic growth, technological capabilities, and principled foreign policy have made us a voice of balance and responsibility. Today, India is not standing on the margins of the global discussions. In fact, we are shaping them. And we do so with a sense of responsibility, strategic autonomy, and a confidence rooted in our civilizational values. These days, countries across the Indo-Pacific and the global South look to India as a reliable partner. This trust has not come to us automatically. It has been earned through our consistent stand for respect of sovereignty of nations and the rules-based international order. But as I see India's role growing on the global stage, I am also reminded that our immediate neighborhood continues to demand our careful attention. Friends, India lives in a region where challenges emerge in many forms. Terrorism, cross-border support to extremist elements, attempts to alter the status quo, maritime pressures, and even information warfare. These are complex situations that require constant vigilance and clarity of purpose. Friends, India has always believed in peace and dialogue, and we remain committed to that approach. But let me say clearly, when it comes to our sovereignty and the security of our people, we do not compromise. Our armed forces have shown again and again that they are capable and ready. It is this blend of restraint and the firmness that allows us to manage our neighborhood challenges while contributing to regional stability. Friends, when we look at the global environment and the realities of our neighborhood, our message becomes very clear. We cannot rely on past structures to deal with future challenges. The world is changing too fast, and the nature of threats is becoming too complex. This is why reforms are not a choice of many more. They are a strategic necessity. Reforms strengthen the adaptability of our institutions, enhance the agility of our armed forces, and give the nation the confidence to shape its own destiny. So, when we speak to reform to transform, we are not barely talking about the procedures or policies. We are not talking about our tweaking the status quo. We are talking about preparing India for a new era, which will transform it into Sashakt, Surakshit, and Viksit Bharat. These three ideas reinforce one another, and we cannot have a Viksit Bharat without a Surakshit Bharat. We cannot have a Surakshit Bharat without a Sashakt Bharat. This is the chain that holds our national aspirations together. But for this chain to hold firm in a changing world, we must build something even deeper within our national character, resilience. Friends, in today's world, I must advocate that resilience has become as important as capability. I believe that a resilient India is one that can absorb shocks, adapt quickly, and continue moving forward to no matter what the circumstances are. Friends, resilience is not limited to defense alone. It spans our economic systems, it extends our critical technologies and the infrastructure that supports them, and it reaches into the social unity that binds us together as a nation. If we build resilience across these three areas of defense, economy, and society, we build a nation that goes from strength to strength. Our true strength, therefore, lies not merely in what we possess, but in our ability to recover, reorganize, and rise stronger than before. Friends, this idea of resilience is not theoretical. It must guide